Hi guys, I'm Takira. Welcome back to my channel. As you guys saw in the title, I am going to be doing a birthday haul in this video. So pretty much I'm going to be showing you guys the fragrances I've hauled since the beginning of the year. So since I'd say the beginning of January, maybe the end of December. I don't know for sure, but within that range. My birthday was February 4th, so Aquarius gang, what's up? I like to consider the entire month of February my birthday, so I kind of, I guess you could say, celebrated my birthday the entire month. And I am a firm believer in treating yourself, so that's what I did with some of these fragrances. So as you guys saw in the title, most of these will be luxury fragrances. I have been dipping my toes into niche a bit here recently. I don't think I've discussed it much on my channel, but I believe since like the end of last year, I have been trying out niche fragrances here and there. Y'all know I have a few in my collection already I've discussed here sporadically. But if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some of these already. I have already worn all of them, so I can give you guys my thoughts after having worn them, because I feel like first impressions aren't always the most accurate, because my mind does change sometimes after first smelling a fragrance, you know, once I fully get a chance to wear it. So yeah, most are luxury. Some were gifted to me, some I picked up on my own, and I believe all of them are blind buys. If not, I will let you know. But I'm pretty sure they're all blind buys. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna start with the ones that I was gifted, and I'm gonna start with my scent of the day, as I always do. Now, before I jump into the fragrances, these fragrances were gifted to me by Favgrance, and I believe their name is like a play on words, you know, like your favorite fragrance. They didn't tell me that, I didn't see it anywhere on their site, but that's kind of what I'm thinking just based off of the spelling. I think that's kind of cool. I just wanted to share that. But anyway, they did gift me 3 fragrances, and I'm going to talk about those first. If you haven't heard of Favgrance, they are an online discounter. I should probably mention that this video is not sponsored. They did gift me these fragrances, but they're not paying me to discuss them in this video. So just keep that in mind. I figured I'd throw that out there just in case any of you guys cared. Y'all know I'm unbiased anyway, but I just wanted to make sure I said that in the video. But yeah, they are another online discounter, and I found by browsing their site that their prices are in line with other online discounters. So they are another discounter that I'll add to my discount fragrance list. I am a type of person who shops around. Pretty much I purchase from whoever has the best price. On their site, I saw that some of their fragrances were less expensive than other sites, and some were more expensive. So I recommend shopping around just in general, but I did notice from browsing their site that they have a very large collection. Some fragrances I've never even seen before. So they might have some of the fragrances that you have been on the search for and haven't been able to find. So definitely check their site out in case that would be the case for you. Also, they have some fragrances that I haven't seen on other discounters that I was interested in. Like for instance, some of the BDK fragrances. I've seen them at retail value, but never on any discount sites, at least when I was looking for them. I don't know if they are now or not, but I will say that they had the best price for those fragrances out of the sites that I did find the BDK fragrances on. So there's that. Y'all stay tuned until the end of the video, because they did give me some discount codes that they wanted me to share with you guys. So of course, we all like to save a few coins, so I will be discussing that at the end of the video, and I'll probably put them down in my description box as well, so you guys can reference them after you get done watching the video as well. But what I loved about them was that they told me to pick out 3 fragrances, and that was pretty much it. They didn't give me a price limit. They didn't tell me no niche, and it's very rare, I've found, with companies that want to work with content creators, or at least in my own personal experience. So I just want to thank Favgrance for sending me these fragrances over, because literally there is no birthday gift to me like a perfume. I love perfume, so yeah, if you wanted to gift me something for my birthday, that would be the way to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the fragrances that they sent me, and I did pick these out myself. Like I said, I browsed through their entire site, at least their women's and unisex categories. They don't really have many categories on their site. That is something that I noticed while going through their site. So there are a lot of pages under the women's category. I think it would be helpful if you knew what you were looking for when you came to their site, so you could just search it up, because otherwise you have to search through all the pages on the site. But I think that would be something that they could do in the future, maybe make more fragrance categories to make it easier to browse through the site. But I don't really care about having to browse through all of the pages if I'm browsing, just shopping, not knowing exactly what I'm looking for. So that was okay with me. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted before they reached out to me, so I just browsed through their entire site and I picked that way. And there were some things that I knew I was interested in the past, and when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I did want that. So scent of the day. I'm talking way too much. I'll probably like shut up and get into the haul. But my scent of the day is 100 Silent Ways by Nishane, and this is an extrait de parfum. So comes in this green packaging, and this is actually the sleeve. Let me show you guys the back before I take it off. And I have worn all these, like I said. I just put them back in their boxes so you guys can actually see how they come. So the sleeve is green, the box is actually black. The box looks like, and you can tell that these are quality. The packaging is very thick and it feels heavy and it just feels luxurious. So here's how it slides out. And it does have a little card in here. I believe it's a postcard. I did look at it, but I'll show you guys. It comes in this little envelope. So this would be great for if you were gifting someone this fragrance. So here's what the postcard looks like. It says 100 Silent Ways, and as you can see, there are the notes at the bottom. It says the top notes are mandarin, tuberose, and peach. The middle notes are white jasmine, gardenia, and orris. And the base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, and vetiver. And on the back, you can see it's a postcard. So I think that's a pretty cool touch. And here is how the fragrance sits in the box. Really nice. And this is the 50 ml. So here is what that looks like. So I was interested in this fragrance, but then I went on Fragrantica and I saw that it was being compared to Black Opium a lot. And I already have Black Opium, and this is quite a bit more pricey than that. So I'm like, I don't want to pay more money for a fragrance that I already have in my collection. But when I tried it, I will say personally, to me, it does smell similar to Black Opium. I feel this fragrance is more well blended for me personally, because there is something about Black Opium that can kind of make me feel a bit nauseous if I spray too much on. I believe it's the orange blossom note in there. It's very prominent on my skin. This fragrance, as you just saw, does not have an orange blossom note. It does have a gardenia note like Black Opium does, and I think it also has a tuberose note. I don't smell tuberose really, but the vanilla note in this is the most prominent note, and it is a sweet, syrupy like Black Opium, but still creamy vanilla note. And that's probably the tuberose is probably giving it that creaminess. I wouldn't say, well, it's slightly buttery. So yeah, that's probably the tuberose I'm getting there. That buttery creaminess is probably coming from that tuberose note. And the vanilla note here smells like a vanilla syrup. So in that sense, I find it similar to Black Opium, because to my nose, Black Opium has that syrupy vanilla note in it as well. But this does not have a coffee note. There is something in it that smells a bit woody. I told you guys the notes and I already forgot what the notes are. Hold on, let me look at them again. But there is a woodiness in this that kind of gives, it doesn't smell like coffee, but like a toasted scent that it gives a fragrance to my nose. Oh yeah, that makes sense. It has vetiver and sandalwood. So vetiver to me usually comes off like a smoky, woody scent, so that would make sense. So think like a smoky, syrupy, creamy but buttery still vanilla scent. To me, this is more of a gourmand than it is floral. If I smell this, I wouldn't immediately think, oh, this is a very floral fragrance. It's more gourmand to my nose, even though the notes would say otherwise. The peach note, I don't really get much of that in this fragrance. I know a lot of people say they get it. I don't really get much fruitiness in this at all. I get mostly, like I said, that vanilla, and then that woodiness, and then some of the florals, but it doesn't smell like a straight up floral fragrance. But yeah, I do enjoy this fragrance. Now, I will say, even though it is better blended than Black Opium is to my nose, I do still feel like this is one I can't overspray as well because it does have a tendency to make me a bit nauseous as well. I've never tried to really overspray this fragrance. Y'all see how I spray. I don't spray it like that. And y'all tend to think that I spray all my fragrances like that. No, if they're potent, I don't spray them all like that. That's how I spray my softer fragrances. But yeah, I sprayed this once in each spot and it has good performance. Longevity, I'd say, is about 8 hours, and projection, I'd say, is moderate, and it stays moderate just about throughout the entirety of the wear. I'm happy that I have this and I'm happy that I tried it, but I don't know if I'd purchase it once I use it up. If you're someone who had an issue with Black Opium, maybe try sampling this one. Specifically, if you didn't like the coffee note in Black Opium, or like for me, the orange blossom note was a bit too heavy for you. But yeah, again, that is 100 Silent Ways by Nice Hane. Not 100, I don't know why I keep saying 100. 100 Silent Ways by Nice Hane. So the next fragrance I'm gonna talk about that they sent me, y'all see how I'm smiling? I just can't help but smile when I see this because I'm still in shock that I have this. I've been interested in this fragrance for a good minute because of Jeanne Antoinette here on YouTube. She has talked about this quite a bit in her past videos, so you guys may have heard her talk about this one as well. But the fragrance I'm talking about is by Raja Parfums, and it is Enigma. It doesn't say it on the box. Well, it's Enigma. Y'all see when I open the box. So here's what the box looks like. I'm looking at my monitor, so that's why I'm trying to readjust for y'all. And nice, thick, heavy packaging, just like with the Nice Hane. And it slides out as well. This one slides up. So here is the perfume. Love. So it says Enigma on the bottle, at least. It's not on the box, but y'all can see it's this brown bottle. I love the bottle. It's very sleek looking to me. And on the back, it says a fragrance by Raja Dove. Oh, I didn't show you guys the back of the box. Here's the back of the box looks like, if you're interested. And as you can see, it says Pour Homme right there in the middle. So this is technically a men's fragrance, but to me it smells unisex. I don't think this smells masculine or feminine leaning. I think it's perfectly unisex. And like Jeanne said in her video, I believe she said this smells like a woody cherry coke. To me, it smells like a woody cherry vanilla coke, but it also has a vintage quality to it, and I believe that's probably from that benzoin note in this. Now, when I first tried this, it was, first of all, this is a love at first sniff, and I do still love it. A lot of the times I told you, when a fragrance is a love at first sniff for me, usually I end up not liking it as much once I wear it. But this one was a love at first sniff, and it remained that way. However, I will say that when I first wore it, I feel like I didn't love it as much as I did when I first smelled it, because it was cold outside that day. And what I found, which is probably gonna sound crazy to you guys because I believe this is categorized as more of a fall winter scent, but for me, I prefer this when it's warmer outside because for me it's a bit sweeter than. Like I said, it's like a cherry vanilla coke scent. So it is sweet, more sweet in the heat. That's why I prefer it in the heat. It's less sweet when it's cooler outside, but there's a sweet effervescence to this fragrance that reminds me of like a cherry vanilla coke. I know that's not a thing, but think if you combined a cherry coke with a vanilla coke, that's what this smells like to me. It doesn't have a cherry note, but it does have a heliotrope note. And the heliotrope note, as I told you guys previously, kind of smells like a slightly powdery vanilla and almond scent to my nose. And a lot of the time, almond in fragrances kind of has it tends to have a cherry nuance a lot of the time in fragrances to my nose. So that might be where I'm getting that cherry from in this. And this does have a vanilla note, but it also has that benzoin note. So that's probably where I'm getting the vanilla quality from. And I think that coke scent is coming from the benzoin, because as I said previously, benzoin, it can kind of smell like a vintage medicinal vanilla scent. So like I said, it does have a vintage quality to it. And I'm not gonna say that if you don't like a vintage scent, you're not gonna like this fragrance, because majority of the time I don't like that. I don't know why, but for some reason in this fragrance it actually works. And also I don't feel like that's the most prominent aspect of this fragrance. I feel like the vintage quality that it has is more so in the background. It's not the most prominent quality this fragrance has. I feel like the most prominent is that coke aspect. I do feel like in the colder weather that vintage quality is more amped up, and like I said, it's less sweet, so that's why I prefer it when it's warmer. I have worn it both when it's warmer outside because I wanted to try it when it was warmer and in the cooler weather, and I was right. I definitely prefer this one in warmer weather, so that'll be when I wear it. But I do think it could work year round if you don't mind that vintage quality that it has. Now this is the most pricey fragrance that I have in this haul, so if you were interested in this one, I'd probably recommend sampling it first. I tried this blindly. I had never tried it before. Favgrance sent it to me and it worked out, but I figured it would because if Janae liked it, then I knew I would probably like it as well. But like she said, it also does have that woody quality, so I don't want to forget about that. In the dry down, it gets more woody, and you still get that cherry vanilla coat, but it's like a woody cherry vanilla coat, like she said, with that backing of that vintage quality that it has. I love it. Like I said, I don't recommend blind buying primarily because of the price, but also because I feel like it's a fragrance that not everybody would love. If you're looking for something similar, I think that L'Ombre de Merveille by Hermes, I believe that's how you pronounce it. That fragrance is a bit similar to this. It's not a straight up dupe, but I feel like if you like that fragrance, you'll probably like this fragrance. That one doesn't smell, it didn't smell like coke to me immediately. I didn't get coke from that, but it does still have that vintage resinous quality, and I believe that one has an amber note and not benzoin, but I feel like they kind of go hand in hand sometimes and that they're in the same family. So that one is a lot softer though. This one has amazing performance. I know a lot of people see cologne and think that it's gonna be a light fragrance that doesn't have the best longevity, because that is the lowest concentration of perfume oil that a fragrance can have. I believe cologne is the lowest, but it's a parfum cologne, so it's not just a cologne. And I believe that Raja Dove actually created that concentration, so this is exclusive to him. I'm actually gonna read to you guys what I read about that on his site because I thought it was interesting. So it says, Parfum Cologne is a new concentration of fragrance created by Raja Dove. This highly original concentration is structured to be as enlivening and refreshing as a classic eau de cologne, whilst the base is very long lasting, enhancing the top notes, allowing them to display their characteristic freshness on the skin for hours longer than usual. The structure is similar to an eau de parfum by way of its lasting quality, with the top and head notes being worked specifically to enhance the sensation of freshness. That is literally the perfect description of this fragrance, because like I said, it lasts really well on my skin. I get at least 8 hours on my skin, that is, and on my clothes, it lasts on my clothes until I wash them. As far as the projection, it projects moderately, and it projects moderately throughout almost the entirety of the wear for me. Even after about the 6 hour mark, I'm still getting whiffs of this fragrance. So like I said, don't let the cologne in the name fool you. I do agree that it is still refreshing, because even though I'm able to smell it throughout that entire time, it never feels heavy or overwhelming. It still feels like light and airy while I'm wearing it. So yeah, I love it. I have no complaints about this fragrance. If you were a woman who was interested in this fragrance, do not be scared of it. Now, there is a parfum concentration of this fragrance, but I haven't tried that one, so I'm talking about the Parfum Cologne. So yeah, perfectly unisex, smells so good. I don't know if this is one that people would like if they smelled on you. I haven't had a chance to wear it around people, but I don't care. I love it for myself, and I am so thankful to Favgrance for sending me this fragrance, because I have been eyeing this, but I hadn't gotten to the point where I wanted to take that leap and blind buy a fragrance over $200. I feel like that's very risky to do, especially when you're not sure that you'll like it. Of course you can sample it. Of course I can sample it, But I don't know, guys, there's something wrong with my brain. The way that my brain thinks about sampling is that I will most likely like the fragrance. So that means that if I buy a sample and I like it, then I most likely wasted my money on that sample because I'm gonna end up spending more in the long run because I'm gonna end up purchasing a full bottle anyway. Y'all let me know down in the comments if you think like that as well, but I don't know. I know it doesn't make any sense logically, but I can't convince my brain that that doesn't make sense. So a lot of times I just prefer to blind buy, and I will say that I've been pretty good at blind buying almost since the beginning. Like, I know what I like, so I can usually look at the notes and read reviews and determine whether or not it would be blind buy safe or if it would be risky or not. And a lot of the times when I'm making a risky blind buy, I know that I'm making a risky blind buy. So I kind of felt like this one would be a little bit risky just based on the fact that it's marketed to men and it has a very intricate note profile. So yeah, those two things made me a bit nervous about blind buying, and then as well as the price point. So I kind of forgot about it, not gonna lie. But when Favgrance reached out to me and I saw that it was on their site, I was like, yeah, now's the time to try it. So yeah, I love this. This was my favorite of the ones that I got from Favgrance. This might be my favorite in the entire haul. I don't know, that's saying a lot. But I'm very happy to have this, and I will purchase this once I run out. I can see that already. So again, that is Enigma Parfum Cologne by Raja Parfums. So the last fragrance that was sent to me by Favgrance is from BDK Parfums, and this is Tuberose Imperiale, or Tuberose Imperiale. I looked up the pronunciation, but I really can't remember how it's pronounced. But in this box, so pretty. Another one of those thick, heavy boxes. I like that when a fragrance, if you're spending a lot of money on fragrance, I feel like the packaging should represent that. That's just my personal opinion. Here's the back. And on the side, it actually has the pronunciation, I think. But I still don't know how to pronounce it. I think that's still in French. So here's that. So as you guys saw in the box, it has the notes on the box as well. I don't believe, is this all the notes? Wait, this is in French, but I think I can determine what it is for you guys. So it has Tuberose Absolute, Jasmine Absolute, Iris, Sandalwood, Benzoin, Jasmine Sambac, and Ylang Ylang. And it says Essence de Cypress, so Cypress Essence? I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. I never took French, so that's just me guessing based off of what it looks like here. So that is the box, and slides out, and here is the bottle. Let's take it out the box. That's what it looks like. Now this one was not a love at first sniff for me. When I first smelled this, as in the name, that tuberose was very potent, and for me it was like a heady floral tuberose. So I like tuberose when it is either bubblegummy or it just adds like a creamy, buttery aspect to a fragrance. This was like a heady floral. So very floral. I'd say probably more mature leaning in the opening, and it kind of still smells like that here on the nozzle, but on my skin, this is so beautiful. Once that has passed, and I'll say within like the first 30 minutes to an hour, the tuberose, the heady floralness of the tuberose kind of settles down a bit. And then the tuberose becomes more of a creamy, buttery tuberose. I will say that the opening is a bit sharp for me. And like I said, up through that first hour, I don't dislike it, but that's just not my favorite. The dry down is so beautiful though, and it's so worth it. So like I said, the tuberose becomes more of a creamy, buttery tuberose in the dry down, and it also has vanilla and it has ylang ylang, which both I feel adds even more creaminess to the fragrance and sweetness as well. The ylang ylang adds like a slight tropical aspect to it to my nose, and I feel like after that first hour, the vanilla note is the most prominent. It's a sweet, creamy, buttery vanilla tuberose and ylang fragrance. That's what I get mostly from this fragrance. So it is a sweet white and yellow floral. And ylang ylang to me and on my skin, it smells like banana to me. More like a banana candy than it does like like an actual real banana. So it has a slight banana scent, like a slight tropical creamy banana scent to it. So I really enjoy this. Now this is one that I have to be in the mood to wear because of that opening. I have to be in the mood to tolerate that opening for about 30 minutes to an hour before I can get to the point that I really love about this fragrance. I am someone who you guys probably know has had issues with tuberose in the past. And I've noticed that it was really just that one fragrance where it kind of smelled urine-like on my skin. I really haven't had a huge issue with it since then. I just prefer it, like I said, when it's more bubblegummy or like creamy and buttery as opposed to just like a heady, floral, kind of mature scent. So yeah, don't let the tuberose scare you away if you're not a fan of tuberose, because after the opening, it's very beautiful. If a sweet, creamy, buttery, tropical, white and yellow floral fragrance sounds good to you, then I recommend giving this a try. And like I mentioned earlier, Favgrance has the best price that I've found for the BDK fragrances. So if you were interested in those, then definitely check them out on their site. Now, I don't have this fragrance here, but I was gonna purchase this fragrance from Favgrance because I did want to purchase something from them for this video, but I ended up not purchasing it. I do, like I said, plan to add them to my fragrance discounter rotation to, of course, compare prices with my other discounters. But I was gonna buy another BDK fragrance, but I was scared to blind buy it because it had so many mixed reviews. So this is just a little sidebar to this video. The fragrance I'm talking about is Rouge Smoking by BDK. And I actually went on Favgrance's website, added it to cart and everything. I checked out, but there was a glitch on my end, not on their site. I was using my laptop, so my laptop is pretty old. But there was some glitch when I tried to check out, and for whatever reason, I didn't check out. It didn't check me out. So I took that as a sign that I needed to sample that fragrance first, and I sampled it. And I'm glad that that glitch happened because I didn't dislike the fragrance. It just wasn't something that I felt like I needed in my collection at that price point, or just in general. Like I didn't love it. It didn't wow me. To me, it smelled like cinnamon root beer. I've heard no one say that it reminded them of root beer, but it smelled like cinnamon root beer on me, and it was linear, so it stayed that way throughout the entire time that I wore it, and it was very soft. So it was one that was more of an intimate scent for sure, and I would just get occasional whiffs of it. It was never just continuous whiffs, and I don't know. I didn't love it, so it wasn't one that I felt like I wanted to purchase. So I didn't end up purchasing that one, but that leads me to say that being that I live in Florida, I was being charged a sales tax on the Favgrance website. They did tell me that not every place is charged sales tax, but if you're in Florida, they do charge sales tax. But even with the sales tax on top of the price that they have the BDK fragrances for, it was still more of a deal for me to buy from their site than other places. So I did want to go ahead and mention that briefly. I am going to share with you guys some codes that Favgrance wanted me to share with you guys, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So if you were interested in purchasing from their site, they do have some ongoing discounts at the moment. So I did want to go ahead and mention that they have free shipping, no minimum. So if you're buying a $15 fragrance, you don't have to pay for shipping. That is amazing to me. That's a big deal for me as well, because I'm the type of person that if I have to pay for shipping, I will think twice about placing that order. A lot of the time I've gotten to the checkout point and saw that I had to pay for shipping, and if it's like $6 or more, it'll make me rethink my entire order. And most of those times I would just click out and not make the purchase. So if you guys are like me, that's probably music to your ears. So for the codes, they do have a welcome 10 code for first time customers that will give you 10% off of your first purchase with them. They have a minimum 50 code that will give you $7 off of a purchase of $50 or more. And they do have some 20% off codes at the moment for some specific brands. So for each one of these brands, you will get 20% off by using the name of the brand. So They have a code for Prada, and it's just Prada, Mancera, and it's just Mancera, Aventus, and it's for Creed, and Montal for Montal inventory. So for instance, if you wanted to purchase Mancera Holidays, you could use the code Mancera and you would save 20% off of that. Or for like Creed, if you wanted to purchase Virgin Island water, you could use code Aventus to save 20% off of that. With your first purchase, they do send you an ebook. They did send me one after they sent me these products. I didn't really look into it. I kind of just glanced the title. It is a perfume ebook, so if you like to read, then that's something to note. And also, just like with other companies, if you sign up for their newsletter, they'll let you know of any upcoming deals that will be going on the site. So that was all. I will leave all the information down in my description box as well for those of you guys who are interested. And of course, I will have everything linked down in my description box as I always do. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section as usual. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.